Alright friends, today I plan to walk through my community garden and want to share best practices on how to convert this into a good produce garden. So here's how it works. The town provides the plot. It's a 40 by 20 feet plot, and they give this in month of May, and you have 150 days, and this gets surrendered back end of September. So you just have to get the plants, plant them, and put some effort towards making this into a nice green lot like this one. So let's figure out what are the steps. Firstly, you need to protect the garden from enemies, right? So there are three garden enemies. First one being a rabbit, and for that you need a fence like this one. The second enemy is weed. So you need weed barrier like the black weed barrier that I have put. Look what happened when I tried with some experiments. I tried mulch. Mulch still results in weed. I kind of left this row open, and you saw the grass took over the onion line, and the onion is pretty much submerged. So the best practice is put a weed barrier. It is kind of automation too. You don't need to come back and manually pull the weeds out later on. So that's your number one. Number two garden enemy. Number three garden enemy is or are insects, and they attack cabbage, cauliflower, collards, and those kind of vegetables. They don't attack any of the other ones, the tomatoes, chilies. So all you need to do is get some organic spray like this one, and that will do the job. So all in all, it's not difficult to get rid of these three enemies. Just have to plan it out properly. Now the next hurdle to cross is how to convert the patch of land into green space, right? So you need to get going with respect to planting. When you get the plot in May, the fastest way to do this is get digging in rows. I have created 18 rows, as you can see here. 18 rows, and space the plants about a feet away, and there are certain tools you can use. These are my tools for gardening. The most important one, of course, is this digger, and you can see it's about 8 inches deep. I have dug holes for every single of these plants using that digger. It's very easy. Once you dig the holes, level the soil that's surrounding it, and then the town that we live in provides compost. I got it from the distribution place, and then you just fill those dig holes. Every town, what I heard is does provide free compost. So search for free compost and you should get them. The other best practice is do not mix the compost with native soil. It's not required. I learned that. What happens is the compost in the dig hole just starts getting mixed with native soil later on when you water it or when rain comes over. So no need to worry about mixing it earlier on. So that was soil. The next thing you need are the plants, and since we stay in Connecticut zone 6A, our planting season is May 10th through Labor Day, and the plants have to be started at home indoors, and I started the plant somewhere in April, and you should do that too. You should get a greenhouse. I got one from Walmart for like $20. It has 3 shelves, and get those starter pods, get the seeds. I got most of my seeds from a Dollar Tree. Some I got from Seeds of India, and plan it ahead, and you can just start those plants. I have about 18 to 20 different veggies here, starting from literally the way I went about it was wrote down all the veggies, asparagus through zucchini, and then I selected which I wanted and then brought them here. So once the plants start at home in April, give it about 3 to 4 weeks, and then when the garden is available in May, you can come back in, set the dig holes, get the compost, and just start dropping in the plants. I have planted all of these somewhere between May 10th and Memorial Day. This particular one, bell pepper, I remember we were having the bell pepper at home, and then the seeds from one bell pepper resulted in this entire row of bell peppers here. Just one pod of seeds that we planted at home and brought it here. Now the next thing is as you plant these in rows, these 18 rows that I have done, make sure you think about the height of the plants. For me, the torchlight from the sun comes from the right hand side of the plot and goes till the left. So I have planted the shorter veggies to the right and the tallest ones to the left, so that the torchlight continues and there is no shading from one plant to the other. So you took care of soil and then you planted them well. You took care of the sunlight part. The next is watering. What I have done is I have I first of all planted them in rows, and then I have put these soaker hoses. You can easily customize them. You get those in 50 feet length. You can cut them using scissors. These end joints are just push and play. You can put them wherever you need. So I customized them and plugged them, because I don't want to come and water this manually like my neighbors are doing there. I would just do using a timer. Here's my timer. This is a Orbitz timer. What I do is I just come here and hit the manual button, and you can see it says all. There are 4 zones here, and all these 4 zones are connected to the 18 rows that I have. And the way the timer works, it sequentially waters. It goes from zone 1 to 2 to 3, and all the 18 rows get watered. So you can plan that out. In fact, this is the only timer that allows this kind of a sequential watering. The other timers available in the market don't do that. So if you want to search for one, I got this at Walmart. Next, as the plants keep growing, somewhere in June, I think it was probably mid of June, I have put fertilizer, organic fertilizer. You get that at Walmart again. It's a bag for about $10. It is granules. One time application takes care of the summer, so I just done that. It is called as vegetable organic fertilizer. Bring that. It covers for almost all the vegetables. Why it's important is because the compost does not give calcium and potassium, while it gives nitrogen and other minerals that are required. So it's important to get that and see how these especially these chilies and tomatoes are responding to that. In fact, I realized the eggplants, these are from Seeds of India. These are Indian eggplants. They were not growing until the fertilizer came in. So pretty much that's what it is. After that, since you have taken care of the ecosystem, the plants just start responding. You may have to put some trellises like the way I've done here. Tomatoes, I have put them with straight poles, and then I have cut the suckers. For the cucumber, I made a slightly inclined pole, and the cucumbers hang from there. Here's one hanging. Now, since I've automated most of my tasks, whenever I come to the community garden, I just come in, switch on the water so it starts watering. But I have spare time, so I hand pollinate some of the complete flowers. Tomatoes, chilies, eggplants are complete flowers, so all you need to do is hand pollinate and they'll continue. Why I do that is because the bees pollinate, but the bees are doing this job as an accidental job. It's not their main job, right? So there is always this 50-60% chance of success with that, but hand pollination gives you 100% success. I use this tool. All you have to do is just get near to the flower and vibrate it like I'm doing it now. That's it. Job done. 100% success rate. And then after that, it is about just maintaining cleanliness, cleaning some weeds here and there, picking the fruits that you get. Like you see a lot of tomatoes happening, chilies happening here, eggplants are about to come, and yep, that's how it is. So these are some of the key tips to convert a regular garden into a good produce garden. Thought I'll share all these inputs with all of you. Hope you made good notes. If there are any questions, post them. I'll be happy to respond. All right, take care.